Welcome back to Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Lily here to tell you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, what are we talking about today? Well, if you watched the last video, you'll know that we're talking about this right here. That's right, visuals are back. It is X-23, the comic from Marvel, taking place after All New Wolverine. That's right, Laura's X-23 again instead of Wolverine. Because reasons. All New Wolverine was selling just fine, but they brought Logan back because people were real angry about Logan dying for whatever reason. And comic book characters can't stay dead, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. They gave him fire claws. Like, why? Happy face. So, we're going to talk about this comic. We'll probably get into some spoiler territory as always. We're going to talk about the things I like, which is a lot of things, and the things I don't like, which is not a lot of things. In fact, let's get that kind of out of the way. The only thing I haven't really been appreciating with these comics are the covers. The cover art really hasn't been all there for me, but that's like the minorest gripe anybody could ever have about anything, because covers don't make the book. Obviously, it's the content, and the content's great. Now, this run of Laura keeps the same artist from the last series. The only difference between this series and the last series is a change in writers. And, of course, the change in writing styles that come with that. Tom Taylor not doing this run, which, I mean, I really feel like Tom had, like, a great grasp on Laura and her character and things that she's been through. But he paved a lot of good groundwork that the new writer, Mariko Tamaki, has picked up and is running with. Now, she's put her own spin and her own writing style on all these things, but she's definitely paying a lot of reverence to what came before her, or who came before her, and it's working really, really well. There's definitely a different tone, but at the heart, it's still Laura, like it should be. She isn't like doing, a lot of times when writers take over projects, they rehash stuff that we've already gone over and they put a new spin on it, and it totally messes with the character. Example, Laura's healing factor is either so powerful she can regrow limbs in like a day, or it's so weak that without it, even the tiniest little bit of adamantium in her system will kill her. I mean, I know I'm complaining about comics and inconsistency with characters, but those are some big inconsistencies. But, so far, no inconsistencies, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, that's really my only gripe is the covers, and whatever. But everything else I really like. If you've watched the comic book videos on this channel before, you'll notice that I tend to only really review comics that I enjoy. And the reason that I do that is because, well, I don't like to torture myself. Yeah, every now and then I buy a comic that I'm not particularly fond of, or that isn't as fun or as good as I thought it would be, but I don't need to review it. I don't need to talk about it or, like, hash out my feelings about it and scream. Because I like me, and I like presenting a positive feeling for everybody involved. So, that's who I am. Subscribe to one of those other channels if that's what you're looking for, is like a total hate fest. Now, I have done a couple unfavorable reviews on this channel, but two videos out of 111, I think I'm doing pretty good. But let's skip all that. Let's get into Laura and what this is about. And like I said, we're going to go into some spoiler territory, because it does pick up after the last run of All New Wolverine. Well, not right after, because the final run of All New Wolverine was Old Woman Laura, and that was totally alright. So somewhere in between the story before that and after and that story is this story. So everything after Orphans of X, this takes place after that, but before Old Woman Laura. If that will remain canon, there are things in Old Woman Laura that I don't want to be canon, but hey, who knows? I don't. So Laura is being tasked with looking for a scientist who's gone missing. Like I said, we're going over like the broadest. I'm trying to do really broad strokes on this because, well, I want you to read it. And there's only 6 issues out, so you can totally collect them now. Or maybe you're waiting for the the trade paperback, that's fine too, if that's what you're waiting for. So I'm trying not to like give you too many spoilers as far as that goes. But Laura basically and Gabby are tasked with finding a scientist who's gone missing. They check all over the expansion to figure out, how to kind of do that, and don't necessarily come up short, but they don't get a lot of information either. On top of that, Laura's thinking about her birthday because they happen to be there on the day of what is technically her birthday. She doesn't want to tell Gabby about it because she doesn't celebrate her birthday at all. While they're there, they run into the Stepford Cuckoos. Stepford girls. They run into them. Of course, as we know, there are 3 Steffords because 2 of them died, and so on. And they get to talking kind of about being clones and their birthday as well. They just happen to celebrate it on like a specific actor's birthday because Sophie, one of them who died, really loved that actor. Gabby tries to make some good, quick connections by, clone power with the Steffords, and they give her a fist bump because Gabby is just the best. Like, you can't hate Gabby, and if you do, I feel sad for you. She's fun. But, as it turns out, it's the Steffords who actually kidnapped the scientists that Laura and Gabby are looking for because they've cloned their dead sisters, and it hasn't gone very well for them. And that's kind of where the story picks up. There's more in there. The Steffords kidnap Gabby because the way they're doing cloning isn't quite working, and so the idea is to implant Gabby with one of the psyches of the dying Steffords. This all goes according to plan and not according to plan, as the other one ends up in Laura, and it's a whole thing. It's a big fight, and it's all done really well, and it ends in a birthday party for Laura and Gabby. Although, it's not said as, Laura doesn't call it a birthday party, but it kind of is what it is. Like, broad strokes. Yeah, did I spoil the ending of that story? Absolutely. Do you know how we get there? No, you don't. And that's the beauty. I think that's, like, the best I can do. Hopefully, that feels like we need to pull in. The next story to come after that the next story's coming up. There's a small one-issue thing that's not going to be a part of the longer take, where Gabby and Laura infiltrate a high school to find some cloning technology that has been shipped there. And the actual villain of that is kind of interesting in that, that's an interesting trope. So overall, while I like the book, and while I like the characters, obviously I like the characters, and I like the writing behind it, I don't necessarily feel that this is particularly the strongest take for Laura's book that we've ever seen from one of Laura's book, but it's not bad. It's not weak in any kind of way. It's just like, I was expecting, I guess, more Orphans of X stuff, since this is like taking place after that storyline, but at the same time I could see where they would want to establish this book as its own thing apart from that as well. So I'm not exactly disappointed or let down or angry about it. It's just, it is what it is, and that's absolutely okay. I would say check out the book, read it yourself, come to your own conclusions. Especially if you like these characters, you're definitely getting more of these characters. We haven't seen Jonathan yet, but Jonathan is supposedly around and doing fine, and that is the important part. Absolutely. We all love Jonathan. So, what are we talking about next week? That's a good question, and I quite don't have the answer yet. Bet I'll have it at the end of the Zombieland Saga episode review, so, stick around for that. Well, that happens later in the week. But look forward, of course, to our episode reviews that happen normally, starting with Doctor Who tomorrow, and ending with Zombieland Saga Friday morning. And, as always, until next time, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!